Triangles. Alright, so some of this vocabulary will be very familiar and some of it will be new. I might go through some of it fairly quickly. So the triangle sum theorem is the idea that in any triangle, the interior angles will add up to 180 degrees. Okay, that's very important going forward that you remember that, because we're going to use that when we're missing information to fill in what we don't know. All right. An acute triangle is a triangle with all acute angles. So a triangle with no angle 90 degrees or above. A right triangle has one angle of exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle has a triangle with an obtuse angle. You can't have more than one obtuse angle. And then you have an equilateral triangle with three congruent, remember that means equal, three congruent sides and three congruent angles, and those angles always equal 60 degrees. An isosceles triangle, that's a triangle with two congruent sides and two congruent angles. A scalene triangle is a triangle without any congruent sides or angles. And then we come to the triangle inequality theorem. Okay, and that's the idea that no triangle can have two sides that when added together will equal less than the third side. Because if you did, you'd end up with something like that, where those lines never reach and you can never have a three-sided shape. Okay, so that would be not a triangle. All right, that's the triangle inequality theorem. You should always have two sides, your two smallest sides, able to add up together and be more than your third side. All right, concept one, finding angles in acute right or obtuse triangles. We're going to use our theorem that states that we have 180 degrees between the three angles inside of each of our triangles. And we're just going to come through and say, okay, if I have 180 degrees in here, then 45 plus 45 plus, in this case, question mark, should equal 180. Or another way of writing that is question mark is equal to 180 minus 45 minus 45. Okay, or in this case, minus 90. 180 minus 90 should be equal to 90. And that should tell us that this is a 90 degree or right angle. Okay, same thing for these ones. And if you want to jump straight into showing me your steps as, let's get rid of that question mark. Let's get rid of these question marks. What are we doing? Let's use a variable, x, we'll use y over here. Okay, if you want to start with your steps as x equals 180 minus 72 minus 80, that's fine, okay? Or x equals 180 minus 72 and 80 is going to be a negative 152. 180 minus 152 should be x equals 28. And then you can always check your answer to make sure. 28 plus 80 is 108. And then 108 plus 72 is 180. So those angles all work. All right, last one we're going to do, we have y equals 180 degrees minus 90 minus 25. Okay, that's going to be 115. 180 minus 115 is going to be equal to y equals 65 degrees.